Hi everyone, this is the third tutorial on HTML, and this one we're going to cover how to add CSS to your HTML page. So far we've just been dealing with HTML. These are obviously called tags, and they are open and closed using these brackets. And this is all well and good. We've even added attributes and values to help describe these tags a little bit for the browser. We've given our background an awesome neon green background. We've given our heading some alignments and things like that. But for the most part, when you're dealing with a website, you do not want to rely on HTML for style. You want to use HTML to structure your website and to add content to your website. But most of your style really needs to be handled by a language, a totally different language called CSS, and that stands for Cascading Style Sheets. And that is going to happen up in the head of our document. And so far we haven't really done a whole lot with the head other than give it a title tag, but we're going to actually give it a few more tags up here in the head. And I'm going to go ahead and write some HTML called style. And what that's going to do is it's going to tell the browser that we're about to read some CSS style. And this is going to, the reason they call it cascading style sheet is because when you type it in here, it's going to cascade through the rest of your document. And so basically, if I wanted to tell the browser to start reading some CSS, I'm going to tell it that whenever it sees an H1, I'm going to give it a curly bracket, and so you'll see that already it's a little bit different from HTML. We're dealing with curly brackets instead of these greater than, less than signs. And I'm going to say every time you see the H1, I want it to have a color of blue, for example. And you'll see that I have a semicolon. So this is just the language of CSS. You'll notice that it's quite different from HTML, but what it's going to do is it's going to say every time the browser reads an H1, it's going to give it the color of blue. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save that, and then I'm going to refresh, and you'll see that my welcome became blue. And the great thing about this is that any time down here in my HTML that I do an H1, it will be blue without me having to code it in there. Save it, refresh it, and my heading now is blue. And so that's the beauty of CSS, is that it cascades throughout your whole page. And when you have lots and lots of pages, it'll cascade through every single one of your pages as well, as long as you've coded it in there. So I've provided you with, I don't necessarily need you to know every single CSS tag that there is. And so what I've done is I've provided you with some CSS code that you can literally copy and paste right into your HTML document, and that's what I just did. You'll notice though that I also added this attribute within the style called type equals text.css. This is telling the browser that it's going to start reading not just any style, but specifically CSS style. Okay, so you can see it's going to tell anytime it sees the body to give it a black text. It's going to have a background color of beige. Any text that's in the body is going to be a Verdana font, and that font is going to be 12 points. And then I've also given you guys examples for H1s and Ps, and A, if you remember, that's for linking. Okay, and remember, all this code is going inside the head. So as I select it all, you'll see that my head opens up on line 2, and then it closes here on line 37, and I've got all this style code in between. I'm going to go ahead and save that, file, save, and then I'm going to refresh, and you'll see suddenly my background is beige, and my text is now all black, and my link is red. So when I go down here, I can see, oh, my link color is red. If I wanted to change my link color, I can change that to be, let's say, if I wanted to change it to be green. I can go ahead and save it and refresh it, and now, well, it didn't change because it's actually telling it that if it's already visited that site, which I have visited Texas State University's website, to even make it a different color. So I'm going to go ahead and make that one green as well, and now you'll see that it did turn green. Now you can play with this all you want to, and there are lots of websites that have different style codes that you could put up, but for the most part, this is what I want you to do, is to put some style code within your HTML site and then customize it to your liking. Give yourself a different color background if you want to. Change the colors of your H1s. There are a lot of resources out there in the World Wide Web. One in particular is this w3schools.com. They have lots of different more CSS tutorials, and if you want to add some more CSS to your site, you can learn all about it there. So anyway, that is how to add CSS, and the great thing about it is that it cascades again throughout your entire website and makes, every time you make a tag, that particular style. So have fun with it, enjoy, and just kind of experiment and learn more about HTML.